Shalom, brothers and sisters, and this is Shabar Judah Israel on the behalf of Solid Foundation Israelite Academy. That's S.F.I.A, Solid Foundation Israelite Academy. We're bringing you another lesson concerning tonight, and this lesson is going to be based on Good Friday. Good Friday, because we know Good Friday is coming up. Actually, it would be here tomorrow, which would be April the 14th, Good Friday. Now, a lot of co-workers is going to be out on Good Friday. A lot of jobs, a lot of industrial plants going to be shut down. Why? Because supposedly Good Friday is the day that who the world classifies Jesus. We know him as Yahushua. Good Friday supposedly is his death. The day that he gave up the ghost, the day that he died on Calvary. But is that correct? We'll check into that and discover this. Okay, so before we get into the lesson, give all double honors to the elders, the apostles, salutations to the Akim that's preaching and teaching this truth in season and out of season, week in, week out, prophesying the downfall of America, edifying blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which are the chosen seed, the chosen people, God's children, the children of Israel. And last but not least, we give all praises and glorification and adulation to Yahweh Bahashem, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, Yeshua Shalom, okay, the King of Peace. Now, let's get into Good Friday. Let's get into it. This is what you would call, brothers and sisters, Good Friday. If you can see that, okay, let's try to blow this up again. This is what you would call Good Friday. Supposedly, that's coming up tomorrow, which is April, I believe it's April 14th. Supposedly, that's the day when the Messiah gave up the ghost. But let's correct this. It says Good Friday, the Friday before Easter. So this is the Friday before Easter Sunday, on which the crucifixion of Jesus Christ is commemorated in the Christian church. It is traditionally a day of fasting and penance. So it says Friday, Good Friday, is the Friday before Easter. Okay? The Friday before Easter. Now, Easter would be this upcoming Sunday, which would be about 17th, I believe. Or 16th, I believe. I think it's the 16th. Yeah, Good Friday is going to be on the 14th. And then, yeah, the 16th. So this upcoming Easter is on the 16th of April. And you have a Good Friday. Every year you have a Good Friday before Easter Sunday. Now, this day is supposedly the crucifixion of Yahushua when he died. So they commemorate this as it's carried out in the honor of Yahushua's death, the crucifixion, and the resurrection. Supposedly, that's what Easter is about, the resurrection of Christ. Okay, we know the truth about pagan Easter. And those of you that don't know the truth, I recommend you to watch my videos. Watch part 1 and part 2 on concerning that Easter is a hoax. Part 1 and part 2 on the S.F.I.A. Be sure to view those 2 videos, brothers and sisters. So be sure to view those 2 videos. But let's check up Good Friday, because this is not correct. Actually, Yahushua, the Messiah, who the world knows as Jesus, he did not die on Good Friday, brothers and sisters. He didn't die on Good Friday. He didn't die on Friday at all. Okay, we're going to line this up with the scriptures and show you, because we have to get to the nitty-gritty of the solution so that you may be able to see what's going on. So we'll go with St. John 8:32. This is St. John 8:32. Okay. Because let's see what the Messiah said in St. John 8:32. Do this video quick as possible. Okay. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Black man, Hispanic man, Native American man, black woman, Hispanic woman, Native American woman. And children, you are the Israelites, the chosen seed, the chosen people, God's children. And on tonight, on the behalf of Solid Foundation, Israelite Academy, you're going to know the truth that Yahweh, who the world classifies Jesus Christ, ain't nowhere in hell that he died on Good Friday. Okay? We're going to show you. Okay, so cut to the chase. Let's get right into it. These are the words of Yahweh. I'm clicking on the red letter box to show you that Yahweh is speaking on the behalf of these verses, so you won't get confused. See, the red letters that you see are the words of the Messiah, Yahweh. And we're going to get to the point concerning Good Friday. Now, Matthew 12:38, then certain of the scribes and Pharisees answered, saying, Master, we would see a sign from thee. So the scribes, the leaders, the Pharisees, the leaders of the Jews would be modern day pastors today. Fake pastors, you should know that by now. They wanted to see a sign they wanted to see a sign from the Messiah to know that he was the Son of the living power, the Son of the Heavenly Father. Matthew 12:39, but he answered and said unto them, an evil, adulterous generation. So you can see back then it was an evil, adulterous generation. Like you see today. Actually, that generation is back on the earth today, brothers and sisters. The same generation back then is back on the earth today through the reincarnation. Brothers and sisters, if you can receive it. It says, adulterous generation, seek it after a sign, and there shall no sign be given but the sign of the prophet Jonas. Now, Jonas in the Greek is Jonah, okay, the prophet. Now, Matthew 12:40, for as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days, 3 nights in the heart of the earth. And this is going to give you some good reference behind Matthew 12:40, because it speaks of the Son of Man being how many days in the heart of the earth? 3 days and 3 nights. So supposedly, if Yahweh Christ, who the world classify him as, let's just say he died on Friday. Okay, they would say, well, he died on Friday, Saturday, he was dead Friday, Saturday, and he rose on Sunday. That's 3 days, right? But that's not 3 days, because we got to show you how the days are calculated in the Bible. We're going to show you how the days are calculated in the Bible, because the days are not calculated like you would calculate today. Like when you wake up, you would say that's a new day. That's not how the days are calculated. When you wake up, it's not a new day. Okay, you need to identify how the days are calculated in the Bible so you can see that this Good Friday is a hoax. So let's see how the days are calculated in the Bible. This is the book of Genesis, the first book in the Bible, chapter 1. And we're going to stop on, let's see, we'll read, just follow along. Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. All right, we know what's going on in the beginning of time. We're going to skip down a couple verses. Genesis 1:3, and God said, now that's not the Most High now. That's not the Most High. God in the Hebrew takes you back to Elohim or Elohim, which means plural, which means more than one. So these are actually talking about the Elohim, the angels that created the heavens and the earth in the beginning of time. Say, and God said, the angel said, the Elohim, the power said, let there be light, and there was light. And the powers saw that the light, that it was good. It says, and the powers divided the light from the darkness. Now, if you read Genesis 1:5, this is the kicker right here to determine how the days were calculated back in the ancient world. Okay, like I stated just a while ago, when you wake up, that's not a day. Okay, let's see how the days were calculated during the ancient world. Genesis 1:5. And the power was called the light day, and the darkness they called night. It says, and even in the morning, was the first day. So you can see right there, the days are calculated by the setting of the sun, man. Okay? That's how the days are calculated. Okay? By the setting of the sun, brothers and sisters. It's not when you wake up. The days are calculated by the setting of the sun. Genesis 1 and 5. Okay? It says, when the Most High did, the S.F.I.M, the powers of the Most High, okay, they call that light day. They call it darkness night. And it tells you that when was the first day? Evening. It said evening. In the morning. Evening. Okay. Word of what? The first day. So like I stated, these biblical days back in the ancient world, they started during the evening. Okay. They started during the evening, all right? It's not how we calculate the days today. You know, when we wake up, good morning, new day. No. To give you a prime example, we're going to show you what we're talking about because we have a chart before you, brothers and sisters, that we're going to bring up in a few seconds. We're going to bring up this chart. And this chart is the calculation in the timeline showing when the Messiah was put to death and showing when the Messiah rose from death. Okay, we'll bring that chart up in a couple seconds. But before we bring that chart up, let's go back to the previous chapter and verse concerning this video. Okay, so I hope you understanding what's going on about the calculation of the days of the ancient world. All right, now we started out in St. Matthew chapter 12, and it was speaking on the behalf of scribes and Pharisees that wanted to see a sign from the Most High, Son, Yahushua, who the world classifies Jesus Christ. He said, I'm not giving you any sign because the adulterous generation seek after a sign. I'm not giving you any signs. Okay? It's sad that they couldn't see the signs that he was performing. He said, there shall be no sign given to you, but the only thing you're going to see, the only sign you're going to see is the sign of the prophet Jonas. Now, he stated in Matthew 12 and 40 that Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly. So shall the Son of Man be 3 days, 3 nights in the heart of the earth. These 3 days and these 3 nights is your guideline to show you that Good Friday cannot be possible. It's impossible that he died Good Friday. We're going to show you around the time when did he die so you can understand, brothers and sisters, that Good Friday is a hoax, and no longer should you continue to carry out Good Friday as a memorial or as a commemoration of the death of the Messiah, man. Okay? We're going to give you the correct era. We're going to give you the beginning of the time and when in the end. So now, in Matthew 12 and 40, it speaks of Jonah being 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly. Where can that be found? We're going into Jonah, the first chapter, okay? We're going into Jonah, the first chapter. Now we know about the story of Jonah because the Most High Yahweh came to Jonah, which was the son of Amittai, and told Jonah to go to Nineveh, which was a great city, a wealth and power back then, and he told Jonah to cry against that city for the wickedness that was being infiltrated in that city. Now these Israelites was in Nineveh, acting the ass, sinning and grinning to the fullness, and the Most High was on the verge of destroying Nineveh. So he tell Jonah to go to Nineveh to tell those Israelites to repent, man. But what did Jonah do? Jonah 1 and 3. Jonah rose up and fled into Tarshish, man, from the presence of the Lord. Okay? He was trying to go the opposite direction. He wasn't listening to God. God told him to go to Nineveh. Jonah was, in other words, trying to run from the Most High. What happened in his despite of running from the Most High? Okay, let's show you. Jonah 1 and 17. Now the Lord Yahweh had prepared a great fish to swallow up Jonah, and Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. Okay, this is the precept. 3 days and 3 nights Jonah was in the belly of that fish. 3 days and 3 nights. So everything is vibing. Everything is on point. Everything is basically in sequence. Okay, in step, in order. So you can see in Matthew 12 and 40, that's why I said Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, because that was a personification what would come in the latter days when Yahweh would be 3 days, 3 nights in the heart of the earth. Now, we do know he was 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. But when did these 3 days and 3 nights begin? Well, let's get the time when Yahweh died. Let's look around the time when Yahweh died, shall we? Okay? Because all Christian church teaches that Jesus Christ, Yahweh was buried late Good Friday afternoon. Then he was raised early Easter Sunday morning. That's what the Christian churches teaches. Okay? So you have basically, if the Christian church, they carry out that doctrine, if that's correct, then you will have Friday night, Saturday night. No, you have Friday night, Saturday night. That's only like 2 nights in one day. Okay? If you said that basically he died on Good Friday, and then you said that he was supposed to roll early Sunday, Easter Sunday, according to the calculation, how they calculated time in the ancient world, okay? Because, like I said, that basically the day didn't start approximately until the evening. So if they supposedly crucify him on Friday, Good Friday, that will only come from Good Friday, come from Friday to Sunday. That will only be a day and 2 nights. Okay? Even if you wanted to stretch it out, if you wanted to stretch it out a little bit, let's just say you wanted to add basically a few minutes of daylight to Friday, because we know that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, we know he was crucified around the time of PM. We're going to give you the exact time. And even if you say, okay, you want to count that whole Friday, that will only be 2 days and 2 nights still. It wouldn't be 3 days and 3 nights. What I'm saying, let me make sure, let me explain what I'm saying. Let me make sure to you and explain what I'm saying. Let's get the calculation of the time. Let's get the time when he died. Okay, we're going to get the time now. This is Matthew, the 27th chapter. Let's begin with 45th verse. Now from the 6th hour, there was darkness over all the land until the 9th hour. Now you got to get familiar with the hours in the Bible, because from the 6th hour, I say from the 6th hour, from the 6th hour, there was darkness over all the land until the 9th hour. Okay. So from the 6th hour, you could say the 6th hour, according to ancient world time, is basically from 11 to let's say 11 to 12, about 11 to 12. Yeah, about 11 to 12 p.m. Okay? That's the 6th hour. From 11 to 12 p.m. Okay, and the 9th hour would be from 2 to 3 p.m. Okay? Basically from 2 to 3 p.m. So the 6th hour is from 11 to 2 p.m. 11 to 12 p.m. And the 9th hour is from 2 to 3 p.m. So we're going to focus on that 9th hour, which is from 2 to 3 p.m., like 3 o'clock p.m. Focusing on his 9th hour, because we got to focus on that time when he died. Supposedly to rebuke this Good Friday nonsense. Matthew 27 and 46. It says, in about the 9th hour, that is to say from 2 to 3 p.m., about the 9th hour, Yahweh cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. That is to say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Because this is when Yahushua was on the cross, man, hanging on that cross, hanging on that wooden stake, okay, bleeding to death, man, okay, going through misery and pain for the elect of the nation of Israel. Matthew 27:47. Some of them that stood there, when they heard that said, this man called Elias. So Elias is Elijah in the Greek. They thought he was calling on Elijah, the prophet. Matthew 27:48. And straightway one of them ran and took a sponge and filled it with vinegar and put it on a reed and gave him to drink. And that vinegar was really piss, man. They were trying to. That's how they was doing the Messiah, man. Okay. Matthew 27:49. Just keep in mind the 9th hour, which is from 2 to 3 p.m. Keep in mind. Matthew 27:49. The rest said, let us see whether Elias would come to save him. So they was trying to see, was Elijah the prophet going to come and deliver Yahushua from Calvary? But it was ordained for Yahushua to die for the elect of the nation of Israel, which are you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. But anyway, Matthew 27:15, right here. Yahushua, when he had cried again with a loud voice, he yielded up the ghost. To yield up the ghost is to die, man. To yield up the ghost is to pass away, to pass on. Okay? To yield up the ghost is to stop proceeding on living. That is to say, to be deceased, to die. So when did he die? He died around what hour of the day? He died around, pursuant to Matthew 27:45, the 9th hour. When is the 9th hour today? From 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. So he died like around 3 o'clock p.m. But what day was it? Was it Good Friday, brothers and sisters? Was it Good Friday? Was it the Friday before pagan Easter Sunday? Was it Good Friday? So was it this? Because this what lots of people tomorrow is going to be upholding Good Friday, man. Was it Good Friday when the Son of the Most High gave up the ghost? And just for an extra note concerning this video, the Son of the Living Power was not this garbage right here, man. He was not a white man. He was a black man from the tribe of Judah, which would be a so-called Negro today. So this is in no reference to the Messiah according to the Bible. This is actually the second son of the 6th Pope of Rome, which was placed up as the new portrait of Christ in the year 1492. This is not the inscription of Christ concerning the Bible. Yahushua, this is not him. This is the white man who the devil he really is Satan. Okay? But I put that out there as an extra note. But let's cut to the chase. Did he die on what they say Good Friday? Let's see. Let's see. So as you can see, Matthew 27 chapter, it was about around the 9th hour. Now this was during daylight now, from 2 to 3 p.m. From 2 p.m., which is the 9th hour, from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., the sun is still out. The sun is still shining. So when this man died, just keep in mind, the sun was still out. It was still shining. The 9th hour is from 2 to 3 p.m. Okay? From 2 to 3 p.m. today, the sun is not down from 2 to 3 p.m. The sun is still out. So we keep that in mind. The sun was out when he died. Okay? Remember how I told you the days are calculated in the Bible by the setting of the sun. So he died 3 o'clock p.m. But what day? To identify what day he died, we got to identify some special events that the Bible speaks of. Let's get into it. Because he died at 3 p.m. during that day, and they had his body buried before the sun set. His body was buried before sunset. Okay? He was in the tomb before sunset. Okay? So what day it was? Let's see. This is Matthew, Salak, forgive me, I'm sorry. This is St. John, chapter 19. We're going to figure out the day when he died. We know so far he died 3 o'clock p.m. Okay, during the sun. And they had his body in the tomb before the sun set. We got to find out what day was that. Let's go to John 19. Let's start with verse 1. Then Pilate therefore took Yahushua and scourged him. Now this is on the behalf of Yahushua going through that affliction and pain that he had to suffer. Okay. John 19:2. When the soldiers platted a crown of thorns and put it on his head, and they put on him a purple robe. See, they mocking Yahushua, and they said, "Hail, King of the Jews!" And they smote him with their hands. So they is mocking Yahushua, man. Okay. Yahushua suffered badly. Okay. But we're not going to read all the verses. Let's just cut to the chase. Let's go straight down to, let's say, I believe, St. John 19. We'll begin with verse 31 to show you, to try to figure out the day when he died. Okay. So this is St. John 19:30. When Yahushua therefore had received the vinegar, he said, "It is finished." John 19:30. He bowed his head and gave up the ghost. Now, we already reviewed that, and we seen around, I believe, around the 27th chapter of Matthew, we seen when he gave up the ghost, it was during the 9 hours of 3 p.m. All right. So when he bowed his head and he gave up the ghost, it was 3 p.m. Right? Now, according to St. John 19:31, the Jews, therefore, because it was the preparation that the bodies should not remain upon the cross on the Sabbath day. Oh, now it's going to make sense, because we're trying to figure out the timeline, trying to figure out the exact day. When did the Son of the Most High get put to death? What day did he give up the ghost? Well, this is a hint on 19:31 of St. John, because it said that these bodies should not remain upon the cross on the Sabbath day. Now, many people today will see the word Sabbath. I'm just putting this out. And they'll assume that it's talking about Saturday. Okay? They'll say, well, it's not Saturday, it's the Sabbath day. But what you must understand, that you have holy days, which is classified as high days, high holy days, or annual days. And what I mean by that is that most people, they will assume that since John 19:31 says that the body should not remain upon the cross on the Sabbath day, they'll assume that it's talking about the Sabbath, which is Saturday. They will assume that. But since the regular weekly Sabbath day that's described in the Bible is according to the new moon, brothers and sisters, you must understand that you must understand that what a high day means. We're gonna show you. We're gonna show you. I know, just stick with me. We're gonna show you what I'm talking about. So, yeah, the body should not remain upon the cross on the Sabbath day. Now, it says, for the Sabbath day was a high day. Now, this was a certain high day that these bodies should remain on the cross. Besought Pilate that their legs might be broken and that they might be taken away. So, when was this Sabbath day, which was considered a high day? Because this Sabbath day was a high day. We got to discover when did Yahushua die concerning Matthew. This verse right here. So if this Sabbath day was a high day, that lets me know that was something like that. That was a feast day. That was a feast day after the day he died. That was a holy day after the day he died, because the body should remain upon the cross on the Sabbath day, for that same Sabbath was a high day. Okay, you have high Sabbaths and you just have annual Sabbaths. That's what I'm telling you. You have new moon Sabbaths, you have weekly Sabbaths. Okay, all Sabbaths are not the same. Understand that, brothers and sisters. You have high Sabbaths and you have annual Sabbaths, weekly Sabbaths. But this Sabbath right here was a high day. So we know they killed Yahushua at 3 p.m. And they had to have his body off the cross before the sun was down, because that Sabbath day was a high day. Now, when was this? Okay. Yahushua, let's see, when did he die? What day? This is 1 Corinthians 5 and 7. Your glory, purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened. For even Yahushua, Hamashiach, Christ, our Passover is sacrificed before us. So you can see right there that if you don't know what day the Son of the living power died, he died on the Passover, man. Okay? He died on the Passover. Is the Passover on Good Friday? Huh? Is the Passover this? We're going to show you. 1 Corinthians 5 and 7, because it says Yahushua is our Passover. Okay? So Yahushua was put to death during the Passover, man. Okay? Hebrews 11:28. That's when he was put to death, during the Passover. Okay? This is Hebrews 11:28 on the behalf of the prophet Moses. Okay, it says through faith he kept the Passover, and that's why Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, as the nation of Israel, we are to keep the Passover annually, each year. Why? It's because the Passover is actually when the Most High passed us over by not letting the death angel come in and destroy us during the time of Egypt. Okay, he passed us over. And the death angel killed all the firstborn males, all the firstborn in general. Man and beast. The death angel killed up the firstborn in Egypt. And the Israelites that was covered under the lamb's blood that they sacrificed back in the ancient world, the death angel passed over those Israelites. And we keep Passover annually, and we keep Passover also because Yahushua is our Passover. And we're going to show you that. So Yahushua died on the Passover, man. How we know that? Now I'm going into deeper detail. St. John 19:31. It said the Jews, we back there. We back there again. The Jews, therefore, because it was the preparation that the body should not remain upon the cross on the Sabbath day, for that Sabbath day was a high day. Okay? Now, the reason why I say that Sabbath day that was coming was a high day, because when Yahushua died, he died during the Passover. Okay? And after the Passover, what comes in after the Passover? What comes in after the Passover? What is a high day after the Passover? We're gonna show you that Sabbath day. That Sabbath day is known that's known as a high day. We're gonna show you what holy day is. We're gonna show you what holy day that is, and we're gonna show you that basically that Sabbath day that they didn't want his body to remain on the cross because Yahushua died during the Passover. So when he died on the Passover, the day that come after the Passover, let's find out. This is Leviticus the 23rd chapter. And the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, speaking to the children of Israel and saying to them concerning the feast of the Lord Yahweh, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feasts. So these are feast days that's listed in Leviticus the 23rd chapter. Okay, and out of one of those feast days, these feast days are also known as high holy days. Okay, now let's go down to Leviticus 23 and 5. And the 14th day of the first month at evening is the Lord's Passover, which is the outer one Pascha. Okay, Yahweh Pascha. So it says the 14th day of the first month. The first month is technically March. That's the first month according to the Bible. The Babylonians called it Nisan. The Hebrews call it the month of Abib, which means the ear of corn. So the 14th day of the first month is actually March 14th. And March 14th at evening, because the days are calculated by the setting of the sun, right? And the days back in the ancient world actually starts during the evening, around the time during the evening. So the evening on the 14th day of the first month will make the Passover. And that's when Yahushua died. Brothers and sisters, he died on the Passover. He died March 14th. He died the first month, which is Nisan, or you could say Abib, today, which is modern day March. He died the first month, which was March, on the 14th day, which was the Passover. That's when he died, March 14th. Now, we know when he died now. We know that he died March 14th now. So he died March 14th around what time? 3 p.m., which was the ninth hour, okay? 3 p.m., which was the ninth hour. So he died March 14th, 3 p.m. March 14th, 3 p.m. Now we know the day and the time that he died just by using the precepts. That's why it's good to use precepts in the Bible, because that's how you get understanding, by using precepts. So March 14th, he died at 3 p.m. Now, what comes after March 14th? What comes after the Passover? Leviticus 23:6. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of the unleavened bread. On the 15th day, because the Passover was on the 14th day of the first month, which is March. March 14th being the Passover when Yahushua died. Because back then, it was telling Israel to get a literal lamb and sacrifice a lamb. Because back then, before Yahushua came on the scene, the Passover came out of the Israelites sacrificing a literal lamb, man. But now we don't sacrifice lamb, because Yahushua, the Son of the living power, is the sacrificial lamb. Okay? So all this was a foreshadow of things to come. We went from a literal lamb to the ultimate lamb. Okay? Just like on the Passover, Leviticus 23:5, which is the 14th day of the first month. After that Passover is the what? On the 15th day of the same month, March, is the Feast of the Unleavened Bread. Now, the Feast of Unleavened Bread comes a day after the Passover. It says, unto the Most High, 7 days you must eat unleavened bread. So the Feast of Unleavened Bread is carried out 7 days. When does it come in? On the 15th day, right after the Passover. So now let's go back to St. John to get a clear indication of what's going on. Okay? So keep in mind, he died what? Around what time? He died in the Passover. March 14th, he died March 14th, around what time? He died during the 9th hour, which was 3 p.m. So that's March 14th, 3 p.m., right? Now, let's go back to John 19:31. Because it said that his body could not remain on that cross on the Sabbath day. So, for that Sabbath day was a high day. So, what comes after the Passover? We just showed you the Feast of Unleavened Bread. When is the Feast of Unleavened Bread? March the 15th. Okay. So, Yahushua died on March the 14th, 3 p.m. And they took his body down before they took his body down before the setting of the sun, because when the sun goes down, it creates a whole new entire day. So they took his body down and had his body in the tomb on what day? His body was in the tomb on what day? His body was in the tomb on the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which was March 15th, right after the Passover. So his body was in the tomb on the Feast of Unleavened Bread, because that was known as a Sabbath day, okay? But it wasn't an ordinary, it wasn't a weekly Sabbath day. This was a high day, a high Sabbath. Because you have weekly Sabbaths and high Sabbaths. Okay? This was a high Sabbath. That's why I said that his body should not remain on the cross on the Sabbath day. This wasn't talking about a Saturday. This wasn't a weekly Sabbath. which will be a Saturday. This wasn't a weekly Sabbath. Okay? This was a high Sabbath, a high day. Okay? And what day was March 15th? Because that's when he was in the tomb during the Feast of Unleavened Bread. You're going to discover, brothers and sisters, that was a Wednesday. Okay? That was a Wednesday. I meant that no. He was in the tomb on a Thursday and he died on a Wednesday. So let's give you the rundown. Let's pull up the chart. Okay? Here's the chart. Okay? Brothers and sisters, look at this good. I want to make sense with this. Look at this good. Okay? I'm gonna pick let's see, I'm gonna pick pink. So Wednesday, let's go right here, brothers and sisters. I want you to see it. Let's go right here. I'm trying to, just a second, get everything right. Okay. Wednesday right here. You see that? That's Wednesday. I'm circling Wednesday. This is when the Son of the living power, this is when he died, man. Okay. So we'll draw a tomb on the top. Okay. We'll draw a tomb on the top. This is a tomb. And it says rest in peace. This is a tomb. He died Wednesday, brothers and sisters. Now, but when he died on the Wednesday, he died during the day. He died during the day. He died while the sun was out. And when was this? This was 3 p.m., which was the ninth hour. So he died when the sun was out. Okay. His body could not remain upon the cross. His body could not remain upon the cross, okay, after the sun was down. So they had to get his body off the cross before that sun set. Why? Because once that sun goes down, it creates a new day. Okay? It creates a new day. Once that sun goes down, it's going to actually create a Thursday. Okay, which was right. So once that sun goes down Wednesday, it would create a Thursday. Okay, and they already had his body taken down Wednesday, 3 p.m. He died. They took his body down before that sun was down to create a Thursday, because the days are calculated by the setting of the sun. So he was in the tomb. We're going to put like a little rock here, and then we're going to put like a little hole, because that was the rock that was rolled away from the hole. Okay, as you can see right here. Okay, that's this. It's like a hole with a tomb, with a, as you can see, the rock that covers the hole. Okay, his body was in the tomb. His body was in the tomb before the sun had set Wednesday. Once the sun went down Wednesday, it created a Thursday. Now his body was in the tomb. Now did not it tell you that the Son of Man shall be in the heart of the earth 3 days and 3 nights? Did it not tell you shall be in the heart of the earth 3 days and 3 nights? So you can't count Wednesday 3 p.m. when he died. You can't count that. You can't count that as a day. You can't count Wednesday. And actually right here, this was the Passover as well, brothers and sisters. I want you to understand this was the Passover. Okay, so he died during the Passover right here. But he died 3 p.m. during Wednesday. He died 3 p.m. You can't count that day. Why? Because a new day starts when the sun is down. So we got to start on a new day. We got to start counting days when the sun is down. Okay, so once that sun set, they had his body already off the cross. They had him in the tomb, and that made that first night. They made that first night. Okay, so that's one night. Okay, because it said the Son of Man shall be in the heart of the earth 3 days and 3 nights. So that's one night. Okay. Okay, that's one night, which made it Thursday. Okay, and then after that night, after the evening, that made one night, and one day. Okay, as you can see, one night and one day. Okay. After the sun set that Thursday, after the sun went down, that made technically a Friday. Okay. And that made 2 nights. Okay, once the sun came out during that evening, that made 2 days. Okay, I'm just showing y'all, brothers and sisters. Because I want to make it small so you can see for the sake of the camera. I want to make it small. So you can see what's going on, man. Okay? I want y'all to see this. I hope y'all can see it for the sake of the camera. All right? So we on 2 days and 2 nights. Now, brothers and sisters, I hope y'all can see it. Okay. Then once that Friday, when that sun set, that Friday made a what? A Saturday. Okay. And that would be 3 nights. 3 nights. Okay. And that evening would be how many days? 3 days. Okay. And before the sun can set, before the sun can go down, brothers and sisters, because I'm bringing this up, before the sun can go down, I hope you see this. I hope y'all can see this. I don't know if y'all can see it. I pray y'all can see it. Okay, let's see. I really hope y'all can see this. Okay, so that would make 3 days and 3 nights, right? Okay. If you don't know how we got that, we'll go back over it again. We'll go back over it again. He died on a Wednesday, 3 p.m. at the 9th hour. You can't count that day. You got to start counting. The new day comes in after that sundown. That's when you got to start countdown. After that sunset creates a new day. So after that, he died on the Passover. After that sun went down, that made the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which was that annual holy day, which was that high Sabbath. That was the high Sabbath, which was the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Feast of Unleavened Bread. Okay, brothers and sisters. And that was basically March the 15th. That was March the 15th. And then that made 1 night counting here. I'm just showing you how we got it. That made 1 night counting here. Then when the sun was up, that made 1 day. And then when the sun set, that made Friday, which made 2 nights. And then when the sun was up again, that made 2 days. When the sun set, that made a Saturday, which made 3 nights. Okay, and when the sun set, when the sun was up again, that made 3 days. And before the sun can go down, okay, brothers and sisters, I know you can't see it because this camera's so big, but I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best to show y'all, to get this Good Friday nonsense out of your heads. Okay? Just trying to push it over so we can show you this. We still can't seem to push to get it small enough. We can't get it small enough. But I hope you can see it. But if you can't, I'm so sorry. But I really hope you can see it, man. And I know y'all can't see it from right here. I was going to try to move it, maybe. Try to move it right here, slide it over. But as you can see, they made 3 days and 3 nights. Okay, now, if it tell you right here that before this sun can set, because if that sun would have set, that would have made technically a Sunday right here. If that sun would have set on that Saturday, if that sun would have went down, that would have made a Sunday. Before the sun can go down, he was already rose. He had risen. Okay, as you can see, I'm just drawing right here. I'm drawing. He already had risen from the tomb. Okay, before the sun can go down on that Saturday, because of that Saturday, if that sun would have went down, it would have technically made what? It would have made a Sunday. But before that sun can go down on Saturday, he had risen, which made a total of 3 days and 3 nights. And I'm going to show you that, brothers and sisters. I'm going to show you that. And then we'll be finished with this lesson. Okay? This is Matthew 28:1. And the end of the Sabbath, at the end of the Sabbath, now that's that weekly Sabbath. Okay, at the end of the Sabbath, what I mean by that, let's pull the chart up again. I want you to understand. Okay, let's pull the chart up again. I want y'all to see what I'm talking about. Okay, we'll go over it again. One more time. He died, let's scratch it out. He died on a Wednesday, which was the Passover. He died in the 9th hour. That would make 3 p.m. Okay, before the sun was down, what did they say? That they had to have his body off the cross because it was a high day. It was the Sabbath was a high day. That high day was after that sun was down, made the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which was basically Wednesday night, which Wednesday night made it Thursday, which brought in the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So that's when the first day you're gonna start counting these 3 days, 3 nights from here. So that was one night. Okay, when the sun had came out, that same Thursday when the sun came out, that made one day. So that's one day, and that's one night. And then when that sun set, that basically made a Friday, which would make 2 nights. And when the sun was out again that same day, that made 2 days. When the sun set that Friday night, that technically made a Saturday, which was 3 nights. And when the sun was up, that made 3 days. And before the sun can set to bring in a Sunday, guess what? His body was gone. Brothers and sisters. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Before this sun can set on that weekly Sabbath, because it was 2 Sabbaths. Let me explain that. This was a high Sabbath right here. The high Sabbath was the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which was Thursday. That was a high Sabbath. But when that weekly Sabbath came in, okay, before the sun can set to make a Sunday, his body was already gone from the tomb. Okay? His body was already gone from the tomb, man. So he didn't rise. He didn't rise on early Easter Sunday, man. So basically, like we was going over Good Friday, brothers and sisters. Now I hope you see, man, because I took a long time with this video, and I didn't mean to take so much time. But I like to be blunt, I like to be direct, and I like for you to get it. But if I was speaking too fast, I missed something, I said something wrong, take the mistake for love, but you should get it by now. That concerning Good Friday, they said basically Easter Sunday on which the crucifixion, you can see right there, he didn't die on Good Friday. He didn't die on no Good Friday, neither did he rise Easter Sunday. He died on Wednesday, and he rose on the Sabbath day. Okay, I just want to put that out there, brothers and sisters. Matthew 28 chapter. It said at the end of the Sabbath. What Sabbath? What Sabbath? It was the end of that weekly Sabbath, not that high Sabbath. It was the end of that weekly Sabbath as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week. The sun was going down because once the sun would have set on that Saturday, once the sun would have set, that would have made a Sunday. So as it would begin to dawn toward the first day of the week, came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the sepulchre. Okay, now what it goes on to say when they came to see, and behold, there was a great earthquake, for the angel of the Lord Yahweh descended from heaven and came and rolled back the stone from the door and sat upon it. Okay, it goes on to say, but it says at the end of that Sabbath, as it was beginning to dawn, it was beginning to dawn toward the first day of the week, which would be Sunday, because that Saturday wasn't over yet until that sun is completely set. So as it was beginning to dawn toward the first day of the week, let's see, the first day of the week, meaning the first day of the week is Sunday. It was dawning toward Sunday. Let's see, was his body in the tomb before that sun can go all the way down and make a Sunday? Watch this. Let's see if his body was in the tomb. Watch this. Matthew 28:5. And the angel answered and said unto the woman, Fear not, ye, for I know that ye seek Yahweh which was crucified. He is not here, for he's risen, as it said. Come and see the place where he lay. So he was already gone before the sun can set. Okay? He was already gone before the sun can set. Here's another one, Mark 16. This is Mark 16 and 1. And when the Sabbath was passed, okay, that weekly Sabbath, when the Sabbath was passed, because it was beginning done toward the first day of the week. When the Sabbath was passed, Mary Magdalene and Mary the mother of James and Salome had brought sweet spices that they might come and anoint him. Mark 16 verse 2. Very early in the morning, the first day of the week, and very early in the morning, the first day of the week, they came into the sepulchre at the rising of the sun. Now, what does that mean? It's a very early in the morning. Very early in the morning. Remember, Yahweh before that Sabbath, on that Saturday, before that sun can go down, his body was already gone. So it say they came to the sepulchre. They say, so in that very early morning of the first day of the week, people don't understand this is talking about nighttime. They don't understand Mark 16:2 is talking about nighttime. Because actually, when the sun goes down, brothers and sisters, when the sun go down and the night comes in, that's morning. That's actually morning. So that very early morning of the first day of the week is Sunday, letting you know that on Mark right here, the book of Mark 16 chapter right here, letting you know that Yahweh rose from the dead before that sun got done toward the first day of the week, on that Saturday, before that sun was completely down, Yahweh body, he had already rose before that sun can go down to make a Sunday. On that Saturday, before that sun can go down to make a Sunday, he already had rose. Okay? Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James, came after the sun had completely set, which made a new day, which was Sunday, which was actually nighttime. They came to the sepulchre at the rising of the sun. Okay? So that nighttime, from that nighttime, okay, because it said Matthew 16:2, and very early in the morning, which was that basically that Saturday night, because he was already gone, which was the first day of the week, they came to the sepulchre at the rising of the sun. So basically, they waited to the rising of the sun, which made it evening. They came to the sepulchre, Mark 16:3, and they said among themselves, who shall roll away the stone from the door? And it just goes on to say, I'm going to get cut to the chase, and I'm going to go down to verse 6, and it says right here, and he said unto them, be not affrighted, ye seek Yahweh of Nazareth, which was crucified. He is risen, he's not here. He's not here because he had rose on that Sabbath, man. He rose before the sun can go down to make a Sunday. It's just after that sun went down that Saturday, which made a Sunday, which technically made the Sunday morning. That's why you can see right here it says that it made Sunday morning, because I'm not trying to confuse you, brothers and sisters. Hope y'all understanding me, man. I'm sounding difficult trying to explain to y'all. That Saturday, when that sun was down, remember Yahweh rose before the sun was down. Okay? Now, when the sun had completely went down, that Saturday night made a Sunday. Okay, Mark 16:2, which was very early in the morning. So that was basically Saturday night, which made the first day of that week. It say that they came to the sepulchre at the rising of the sun. They came during the evening, which was the same Sunday. They came during the evening, during the rising of the sun. And then when they came, his body was gone, man. So he died on a Wednesday. And he rose on the Sabbath day. But if you want to say he died on Good Friday, that's only a day and 2 nights, man. If you want to calculate the day by the setting of the sun. So, I mean, I hope I was up to you, brothers and sisters. I know that sound might be difficult. We probably been like, this video has probably been an hour trying to explain to you guys. But I brought out the main thing. I hope you guys were edified on the resurrection of Yahweh. Cancel this Good Friday. Rebuke this Good Friday. It's satanic. It's of the devil. And this is not the time when he was crucified. Okay? He was crucified on a Wednesday, which was the Passover. What time? 3 p.m. Okay, 3 p.m., which in the Bible classified the 9th hour, which was the Passover. His body had to be taken down before that day was over, which was the Passover, before that day was over, because that would create a high Sabbath, which would make the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which was a high Sabbath, which was a holy day. His body was taken down, okay? And then you would count from the beginning of those 3 days and 3 nights on out, and you can see for yourself. But sorry I took so long trying to explain. Sorry if I made anything difficult. But yeah, man. Most churches commemorate Yahweh's crucifixion on Good Friday and his resurrection on Easter Sunday. But how does this fit with the sign that Christ gave? This don't have a goddamn thing to do with the Bible and on the signs that Yahweh gave. Until next time, on the behalf of Solid Foundation, Israelite Academy, I'm your host, your boy, Judah Israel. And till next time, till next lesson, we say shalom.